the New Balance 1080 V13s in 2025. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of a shoe that's been around for a couple of years and actually split the running community into two. Some runners absolutely loved this shoe. Some runners absolutely hated it. So I'm going to give you my opinion of running in the 1080 V13s in 2025. So the shoes were released at the back end of 2023, and for a UK men's size 8, they weigh 262 grams or 9.2 ounces, and they have a stack height of 38mm heel, 32mm forefoot, which means a 6mm heel to toe drop. They use New Balance's Fresh Foam X foam technology, which means they are very squishy, very spongy, and very soft. And the Fresh Foam X definitely gives you lots of cushion, lots of foot protection and leg protection. And they have a really well cushioned, well padded tongue and a very, very soft, comfortable heel. So a couple of disclaimers before we start the video. First of all, New Balance haven't endorsed, sponsored or promoted this video in any way. These are my own personal opinions about running in these shoes. And secondly, I am not a professional shoe reviewer, so there'll be no technical jargon. It'll be basic, straight up facts about what it's like to run in the 1080 V13s, coming from an amateur runner. So I've been a massive New Balance fan for a number of years now, and I basically snagged a pair of these a week ago. So when I got my hands on these, I was wondering what are these shoes for? Okay, so the 1080 line's been around for obviously 14 versions now. So what is this shoe for? Predominantly, it's definitely for a runner who wants to do a lot of easy runs or recovery runs or slow, long runs. And that's just due to the fact that the cushioning, the foam in the shoe is actually really, really soft. So if you try and do any speed work in these, you're going to struggle because you're up against the foam. You know, so I took these out for an uphill repeat session. Definitely, I could feel myself fighting against the foam. But in terms of those recovery runs, those easy runs, definitely. I mean, they were soft. So when people say, oh, they're too soft, they're too plush, you feel like you're walking on clouds, actually, I didn't think that was a bad thing. You know, I ran these on a recovery run after a really hard interval session in another pair of shoes, and they really, really helped. They really assisted, you know, that day's run. And one thing I did notice with these shoes, actually, and I've not heard this mentioned before, and I don't know whether it's because they're quite stable, they're quite rigid. I'm not saying these are the most rigid shoes I've ever ran in, but they sort of made me really conscious about my running form. So when I was doing these easy, slow, long runs, I was very aware of where my foot was landing and my whole body posture. That's something I've not found in the Rebel V4s of New Balance, but it's something that I noticed when I put these on. Really, really comfortable to get in. Obviously a big, wide area to get your foot in. Very well padded, very well cushioned tongue and a heel there. And apparently it's a 6mm drop. So yeah, it's a mesh. They say it's quite breathable. Obviously, I live in a very hot climate, so time will tell over the next few months whether these are really breathable in humid and hot conditions. But yeah, so when I did my long run, it was 25k. At no point did I feel sluggish or these were too heavy. You know, slow me down. I didn't feel that at all. And to be fair, I was running down straight roads. So I didn't have to turn lots of corners. So the stability was absolutely perfect. The cushioning was absolutely perfect. And it was a 25k run. And it really, really helped. Was I picking up the pace? No, it wasn't a run for that. So I don't think these shoes are for that when you want to pick up the pace, when you do some tempo runs. I think these shoes I fit it maybe for the heavier runner, or the runner that wants to, do predominantly of their runs in an easy pace. I actually found them really easy to get into as well. The Rebel V4s are quite finicky to get your foot in. So if you need to get out the door quickly, get your trainers on quick and go for a run, these are really good. So coming from the Rebel V4s, which are a completely different shoe, they are billed as a daily trainer, but they're definitely built for more sort of speed work. Whereas these are definitely for those runs where you want to take it easy. Those runs where you're conscious about recovery. And there were no hot spots, they didn't rub, they didn't feel heavy. They actually really assisted that long run. I run in dry conditions. I don't know whether, in wet conditions how this fares, but in dry conditions there was no slippage. And actually, like I say, I felt really stable in them. The cushioning really helped, so comfortable. I don't see that as a bad thing. So a lot of people complain that they were too soft, that they were too bouncy, that you felt like you were sinking into the shoe. And actually, I thought that was a plus point for the runs that I was running in these shoes. Yes, if you're trying to run fast around the track, or like I tried uphill, it is going to struggle. I don't think the shoe is built for that. So I think if you're looking for a shoe that's really comfortable, you want to do lots of easy runs, you want it to be a daily trainer, just to clock out the miles, clock in the miles, I think these are absolutely perfect. Probably the most comfortablest shoe I've ever ran in. And people said they were not really stable, but I didn't find that at all. I didn't find at any point was I moving, in an awkward fashion, or not being stable on the ground. So no, I think they're really good. I don't know what the mixed reviews are all about. And obviously, because they're not the latest model, and latest is not always greatest, you can probably pick them up for I'd say about 50% off. So for me, yeah, I would recommend these, and these are definitely going in my shoe rotation. I'll use these for the slower, easy-paced runs. And I'll obviously bring back in the Rebel V4s for those runs where I just need to pick up the pace a little bit, maybe those interval sessions or the fartlek sessions. And obviously for race day, I've got I think it's a Fuel Cell Super Comp Elite I think it's V2. So I think these will complement what I've got. I know the V14's out, but I think actually in 2025, if you can pick up these for a very good price, I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you go in with clear expectations what this shoe is for, if you go in thinking it's going to turn you into a speed demon, I think you will be disappointed. But if you want a daily runner, a daily trainer, I think that the 1080 V13s actually will fit the bill. What do you think? Have you got these? What's your experience? What about the V14s? Are the V14s meant to be better than the V13s? Let me know down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel. Every week on a Sunday, I drop a video showcasing my week's training runs. So at the moment, I'm currently training for the Muscat Marathon in Oman, which is in about 3 weeks' time. So I'm documenting my journey to get to Oman. I also drop a few tips in there, and hopefully I'll give you some motivation and inspiration, either to start running, to run a marathon, or continue running. And I'll give you just a sense of what it's like to run in a very hot climate. And obviously, as we move into the spring and summer months, I'll showcase some of the things that I do to keep cool when the temperature rises. The next video will be on Sunday, which will chart the whole of this week's run, so week 4. Lots of ups and downs in it this week, so hopefully you'll join me on Sunday. So until the next one, I'll see you soon.